listening to the Aerial Hour. Rest stop number 3. Hello, Aerial Hour friends. I hope this message finds you safe and staying healthy. We are in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic, and it is a global pandemic that is affecting every single person. Whether you have the virus or not, you are affected. So before we get into today's episode, I just want to go ahead and throw out all the things. Please like and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and subscribe to us on Apple and Spotify. And while you're subscribing to us on Apple and Spotify, go ahead and write us a review as well. This helps other people find us easily, and it really makes my entire life light up. Also, make sure you listen to this episode in its entirety, because I have a very special announcement that I'll be making towards the end. Okay, I think I've covered everything I need to. So it is currently March 25th, 2020, and like I mentioned, we are in the middle of the coronavirus disease outbreak. And we were supposed to head to Texas actually today. However, we are going to follow orders and stay put for another 2 weeks and hopefully wait for this to pass. So typically every 5 episodes, I take a little break from interviews and bring Phil on since he's such a big part of the show. And we talk about where we're currently at and what we're doing. So today I have Phil with me. Hey, Phil.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. We haven't spent a lot of time together today. Are we doing the social distancing?
We could be.
We
maybe should be because you just went to town.
Yeah.
Did you wash your hands?
I did. I went to the grocery store and did the hand sanitizer when I got back into the car and then washed my hands when I got home, And I tried to not use my phone while in the store as well, just being safe and taking all the precautions. So thank you for joining me here today. I know you are pretty busy right now. Your business hasn't necessarily slowed down, and so you have been busy. So thanks for being here.
Buying and selling.
Today I wanted to bring you on and kind of let everybody know where we're at. So we are currently sitting on a beautiful piece of property in North Florida, secluded from everything, and we've been here now for like 2.5 months.
Far too long. We're ready to go.
Right. It's funny. I think we came up here thinking we would stay for like a month. We're staying on a piece of property that my uncle owns, and we have electricity. We don't have like sewer and stuff, so we have to go inside the house to use the facilities, but it's just a nice big piece of property. No cable, no Wi-Fi or anything out here. The closest store is about 20 minutes away. And so we've been living in this isolation for what seems like a couple of months. We've made a bunch of small trips, whether we've taken Marge with us or not. We've gone to Atlanta, we've gone to Savannah, we've gone to New Orleans, back down to St. Pete. We've done a lot of traveling, but we've kept coming back here.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, last rest stop we did, we're like, we just want to get out of Florida.
Yeah.
Here we are again. We just want to get out of Florida.
It's funny. We were supposed to leave today to head over to New Orleans and then head over to Texas so that we could hit a couple of places in Texas and then start heading north. And because of the outbreak,
we just got a call today.
Oh, right. And we just got a call today that our campground that we have scheduled 2 weeks from now has also been canceled for that period of time. So if you're in New Orleans and you have a piece of property that we could park our camper on for, 48 hours, let us know. Anywho, enough about that. We'll figure out that situation. Like this is not the problem. My heart truly goes out to each and every one of you. This is absolutely devastating for the entire world. But of course, my heart is just bleeding for the pole and aerial community. It gives me a lot of hope. Phil and I have been talking this week about how incredibly fast and almost seamless a lot of studios have been able to move their entire curriculum to online learning within a matter of days. And it's truly, truly amazing. And then the other part that's been so amazing is to see the community of people that have the means to do so. And even the ones that don't are just, supporting it, are just rallying around these people and investing into them and saying, we're going to make it through this together. So it's just really a beautiful thing. And again, I just want to let you know how deeply your pain resonates with me. And I'm here with you. And please, if there's anything I can do to help support you during this time, feel free to just let me know. I am theaerialhour@gmail.com. You can message me on Instagram. You can send me an email. Just let me know how I can help you, and I will do my best to make sure I can. So in the last week and a half, I've seen a ton of information come out about how you can run your classes online and different platforms that you can use and ways to get your classes up and out there and market and everything. And at first, I thought it would be really great to come on and provide more resources with this information, but I think it's already out there. And I've never owned a studio, so I can't speak from that experience. While I've interviewed a lot of people, and I do think I have a fair amount of experience, I think I have something else that I could share with you. So, like I mentioned, Phil and I have been out here. We've been on the road now for almost 5 months.
Yeah.
Almost 5 months. In a couple of days, it'll be 5 months that we've been on the road doing this full time. And when we first hit the road, I have a X stage, but I didn't want to bring it with me because I thought it was too heavy. So I left it with a friend. I also left my expert X pole with a new baby polar because again, I thought I would be, popping into studios all the time and, I'd have nowhere to put up the pole and the stage pole would be too heavy. And so I just decided to, I don't know, sacrifice, for this way of life. And you guys, and
We were watching a TV show and you saw you shouldn't have to sacrifice the things that mean the most to you.
yeah, you shouldn't sacrifice the things that make you happy.
Yeah.
And that make life worth living. And I was like, ugh, we've got to go get the stage pole. And, that has greatly impacted my mental health. But it's interesting. My life choices are fully self-imposed, but I do find that there's a parallel between the isolation that I hear my friends talking about and the isolation that I've been feeling for the last 4 months, and definitely since we've been out here for the last 2 months. It's incredibly isolating. I work from home, and again, this isn't to complain, but just to qualify my experience. I work from home, and I used to spend half my day working from home and half my day getting out doing other work, and went to strictly working from home and staying, in the house, not seeing people that I know or not seeing people at all for weeks on end, and only having my partner, which is a whole thing in itself.
It's great, right?
It's great. We're figuring it out. But it has been extremely difficult. And so I thought, instead of giving you business advice that I'm probably not qualified to give you anyways, I thought I would come on and give you my 9 ways that I have been surviving isolation as a pole dancer. So I'm going to give you all my tips on how I've been making it work with a pole and without a pole, so that hopefully we can make it all work together. And again, make sure you stay tuned to the end of this episode. I have a very special announcement. So, in today's episode, I'm going to give you my 9 ways that we will survive COVID isolation. Are you ready, Phil?
I'm ready. So tell me, what are your 9 ways?
So, tip number 1 is going to be if you have the means to support, please do so. This means both financially and just by promoting whatever business it is that you want to support. So, local studios across the world have been forced to shut down. If you're able to hold class with more than 5 people, and even then, most states are now putting shelter in place where they're requiring all non essential businesses to close. This means studio owners are forced to shut down their businesses and have no way of bringing in income unless they move to the online structure. So, if you have the means to financially support them, please invest in them, invest in these businesses, buy classes for the next term, buy gift cards, buy a package, do something that shows that you believe that we are going to make it through it. And again, it doesn't have to be financially. You can always just promote the business.
Yeah, so like if you're dancing at home doing your freestyle, give them a shout out on your social media. Be like, oh, I can't wait to get back into classes at so and so place.
Yeah. Tag your favorite businesses in all your posts. Anytime you're wearing pole wear, make sure you mention what brands you are wearing. Do whatever you can to make sure that these businesses feel supported because they are having the most difficult time right now. This is so scary. And please, whatever you do, if you need to cancel your membership or place it on hold, do so through the studio or business. Do not call your credit card company and report fraudulent charges or try to get chargebacks. This hurts companies. So please, that is not one of my tips.
Yeah, the phone still works. So
yeah,
if there's anything, just call them, and I'm sure if there's any way they'll work with you.
They are absolutely willing to work with you. So that's tip number 1, support, support, support. Tip number 2 is, and this is easier said than done, be kind to yourself during this time. I noticed I had found myself being overly critical. I was working from my computer, so I was able to be in my head a little bit more than usual. And I was finding myself being very harsh about everything I did. And I also was able to see things that I didn't like about my partner because now we're working together 24 hours a day. And that's difficult too. And I found it hard to have compassion for myself. And after just a couple of days, I talked to a couple of my girlfriends, and they mentioned that they were going insane in their heads. And this was just after a couple of days. And so that made me feel a little bit better about like where I was at and how I had been thinking about myself, because it was very clear for me to be like, oh, you're stuck inside, of course, you're working together for the first time ever and you have to be around each other, or you're stuck inside all day and that's difficult. It was very easy for me to see that they just needed to be compassionate with themselves, which allowed me to see that I needed to be a little bit more compassionate with myself. So again, tip number 2 is be kind with yourself, be gentle, and be compassionate with yourself and your partner, because this is challenging for all of us.
Definitely. Don't forget about your partner. 3, what do we do there?
Tip number 3 is if you don't have a polar apparatus, I have 2 tips. There are a ton of non-pole classes happening. I've seen list upon list and class upon class of no pole, no problem, floor work, yoga, all the different things. So if you don't have a pole at home, no big deal. Find a class that is not pole related and hop in there. Let's support these studios online. And then tip number 2, which actually comes from a very, very good friend that's actually not a poler. When I was first on the road, I mentioned that I didn't have a pole with me, and I was struggling. If you can imagine, you probably are in this right now. You may be without your studio, and so you don't have access to a pole. You feel like, "Ugh, I just want to express this emotion. I just want to go dance it out." And you don't have anywhere to dance. I mean, trust me, I went outside and danced in our RV spot and attracted the wrong kind of attention. So, and here I would try to dance in the space that I had, but it just wasn't the same, and it didn't allow me to express myself in the same way that having a pole did. So I talked to my very good friend Christine, and she recommended, which blew my mind, that maybe if I couldn't dance, that I could imagine myself dancing, which I already did. But she said, let's combine that with an actual movement practice. So at the time, because I wasn't dancing and I did need to move, I was doing vinyasa yoga. And she said, well, that's perfect. Incorporate thinking about dancing while you're doing your yoga flow. And I was like, oh man, that is such a profound, beautiful idea. Like mentally working my mind and thinking about dance as I move through movement. Really, really beautiful. And that has done wonders for me and helped me to like think of new sequences and new flows and new everything. So highly, highly, highly recommend.
Yeah, it's a good way to like work on your floor work.
Yeah, work on
Go
floor work.
in the middle of the kitchen floor and slide around and get the table out of the way first.
Right. Well, for us, I could, if I could count how many times I kick stuff over because I'm trying to do shoulder stands or fish flops in here, which is totally inappropriate, but I will always attempt it. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Always. Tip number 4 comes from Bee's Knees owner Sarah B, which is to use this time for all the lotion. Put it on. It's so good. All those times when you're like about to reach for the bottle and you're like, oh no, I have class. I better not put this on. Now you don't have to do that. Do all the self-care things, put on all the lotions, use all the oils, do all the things. Now's the time. Soak it up.
Ooh, how about number 5?
Tip number 5 is tackle a nemesis trick or sequence. So that move that you say like, oh, that's my nemesis. I'm going to get that this year. That's going to be the move or the sequence that I nail. Well, if you have a pole or apparatus at home, now's the time to work on it. I find that working from home allows me to put in little mini breaks throughout the day where I can take 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes to just move around the pole or whatever apparatus you choose. But do it. Use this time to just work on something you've been wanting to work on, whether it's pole related or not, but you can use this time to work on something.
So talking about this nemesis, yeah?
Yeah.
What's your nemesis?
It's not really a nemesis because I really love this move, but every time that I go and dance, I am making myself do a jade. I just want it to be more flat. And so since we've gotten out here, I've been working on that, and it gets a little bit better each time, although now we are dealing with humidity, so whether I can actually stick in the move or stick too much is a factor, but I'm definitely working on it, and it's going to be so much more beautiful one day, and I can't wait to share it with all of you. Number 6, schedule online meetups with your pole buddies. So just because you might not be able to see them in class or because of this whole social distance, doesn't mean that you shouldn't still hang out with them. And chances are, if you're taking online classes, you are probably using Zoom anyways. And fun fact, Zoom meetings are free under 45 minutes, so you don't have to even upgrade your account. But if you want to have conversations more than 45 minutes, each of you could just schedule a meeting, or you can upgrade to the paid account, which is only 14, I think it's 14.99 or $14 a month. So super cheap, and you can have great conversations. I feel like I've lived off of Zoom meetings for the last couple of months, and the surge of additional online presence is so appreciated, and it's been so good for me.
Is there any other software that offers that?
You could always use Skype, FaceTime, Messenger. There's
Yeah.
plenty of other platforms, but chances are most people are using Zoom anyway. And again, you can add so many people onto one call. I think you can have up to 1,000 participants per call. Number 7 is take a class from an instructor or studio that you've been dying to work with. And if they don't have one available, message them personally and ask. They will probably make something just for you.
This would be a great opportunity for, say, like you're in Georgia and you have somebody in, I don't know,
Australia.
Chicago, or even across the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can be like, hey, oh man, I should take a class from that person in Australia.
Yeah, Shimmy. I want to take a class from Michelle Shimmy.
See, like, there's so many opportunities.
Yeah, there's so many opportunities, and I'm finding a lot of the classes are very fairly priced. And again, this is directly supporting your favorite studios, dancers, and businesses. It's also a great way to just connect with other human beings because you're probably stuck inside all day. Number 8 is maybe, just maybe, take a break. Maybe
stop.
Yeah, maybe do nothing. Maybe eat that bag of chips that you got for quarantine snacks. Or, read a book or go outside and plant a garden. I found that when I didn't have my pole and I was only able to get into a studio every couple of weeks and I was just doing yoga, which is a great practice, I found that when I did come back to pole, that my whole movement had been refreshed and that I was actually so much stronger than where I had left. And that was because of the cross training, but I actually think that I really needed the break. So if you don't feel like dancing, if you don't want to go to a class and you can't afford to go to a class and you've got other things to worry about, don't stress about it. I hear people saying like, "Oh, we need to stay fit during quarantine." And while I think we need to stay healthy during quarantine, I don't think there are any parameters on how you handle this. We just need to get through it. Yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah. And sometimes breaks are nice. Yeah.
it is nice.
And my last tip for surviving the COVID isolation is if you're feeling a certain way, share about it. I found that during this time of isolation, I've been so lucky and felt so fortunate to have such a great support system. And there have been so many times I have called up or messaged one of my girlfriends to say, I don't know if I can keep doing this. I think I might kill my husband. I don't know how I'm going to make it through. I think I'm a failure. All the stuff that goes through our heads. And every time that I talked about it, it made it a little bit easier. So if you're having fear, if you're stressed out about this, if you find that you're going insane, being stuck inside with your spouse or children or parents, whatever, take a break and just share with somebody your struggles. I don't know what it is, but there's something about the spiritual power of sharing with another human being that lessens the burden. In fact, So much so that I am working with Heidi Coker to schedule a online meeting for us all to gather and share about where we're at. This will happen next Wednesday, April 1st at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
That's no joke either.
No joke. No April Fool's joke there. I'll be posting a direct link to the meeting in my link tree on Instagram, or you can just feel free to message me and I'll send you the direct link as well.
Do you know what platform that's going to be on?
It's going to be on Zoom. Good question, Phil. Thank you.
So if you don't have it,
Download it. It's free app. Again, you can use it to talk to your pole buddies and to go to most of the classes available online. So download the app, do the thing, join us for our conversation. So those are my 9 tips on surviving COVID isolation as a pole dancer and aerialist. I hope you find them to be helpful, or at least you had a little break from the chaos of what's happening around us. So if you don't have anything else to add, Phil.
Wait! What about that announcement you were talking about?
Oh, that's right. Let me go ahead and get to that. I know you're dying to find out what it is. Are you ready?
Are we ready?
I think we are. I've teamed up with 7 amazing brands and people to give one lucky winner the ultimate stay-at-home polar package. Do you want to know what's included in this package, Phil?
Yeah, what do we have?
We have a pair of Bee's Knees knee pads, the pole dance knee pad that straps on and strips off, with a bonus Bee's Knees shirt, a brand new sample pack from my favorite grip aid of all time, Dew Point products, a bottle of X Clean from X Pole, the best pole cleaner for the best pole ever, a badass class with the low flow and trick goddess Brittany Pittler, a wonderful Be Fearless t-shirt from Heidi Coker with bonus entry to one of her fabulous online classes, a pair of sugar sponge shorts by Tasty Treat Poleware, an entry into my favorite pole edition, Fab Pole's new online workshop, Ready, Set, Go Virtual. To enter, you can check out my Instagram page for all the details.
That's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, I think this is a really great package for an at-home polar, especially given the state of things.
How would I enter this giveaway?
Well, Phil, it'd be pretty silly for you to enter, but for anyone else, you can check out my Instagram for all the details. The contest ends on April 5th, and we will pick a winner at random.
That's pretty exciting.
It is pretty exciting. It's my first giveaway, and I am so excited over the brands and the people who are involved, and really excited for whoever gets this wonderful package. So I think we've covered everything for this episode. I hope you found it lighthearted and maybe a break from everything that's happening, and maybe you found a couple of useful tips that definitely helped me make it through the isolation I've been dealing with. So again, our hearts go out to each and every one of you. If there's anything at all that we can do to help support you, please don't hesitate to reach out, and we will talk with you guys soon.
Don't make plans, they'll fall apart.
Don't make plans for the next couple of weeks, because you'll have to change them 3 times. We'll see you all next time. Bye. All I have to offer is some stickers.